Hello, thank you for joining us today. Entrepreneurs in Christ consists of a tribe of marketplace ministers doing business with godly values and with an emphasis on marketplace ministry. We are confident you did not stumble upon this page by chance, but we believe God divinely orchestrated this moment and you were handpicked to hear this message. We implore you to sit back and feed your spirit with the undiluted Word of God, which is able to build you up as an effective kingdom entrepreneur and marketplace minister. We ask that you subscribe to this page as we release fresh content that will confirm your faith and convictions to maintain a righteous stand with God on a weekly basis. Also, please do like this video. Click on the like button, share with a friend, share with a family member, and leave a comment or question below where necessary. Thank you and God bless you. Bye.
Um, we Let me just start with a prayer. Father, I thank you for letting me be a child of you. Father, take over this teaching. Teach your people. In Jesus' name we pray thanksgiving. Amen. Amen. So sorry if there's any noise in the background. There's a car, I think, around a big car, so this noise. Okay, so we are still on the grace for leadership. And specifically, we'll be looking at the demand for mentors in leadership. So somebody will ask, why is there demand for mentors in leadership? In Proverbs 15:22, it says, plans fails for lack of counsel, but with many advices, they succeed. This is a verse that is, it's understandable, many understands it, but it is like it reads. When you get more advice, when you are being guided, there is success on your way. And so somebody might be sitting somewhere and say, I am not a leader. Why should I be mentored? Or why do I need to be a mentor? But as Christians, Bible lets us know that each and every one of us is a leader one way or the other, whether you are the newest intern in your office or the last born of your family. The Bible tells us that what you are a leader according to Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. It says, let us make mankind in our own image, in our likeness, so that they may rule. That makes you a leader automatically because you can influence the people around you. You can help the other person grow to become a better person. So not necessarily you probably occupying a particular position, but wherever you find yourself, you are ruling or you are leading some people. I just wanted to bring us to understand that why we need to be mentored, why that demand for it. Biblically, leadership is what is a leader is someone who is either chosen, appointed, or anointed to guide, to direct, to influence others in a specific capacity. I want us to look at the story or the life of the young prophet Samuel and the first king of Israel, Saul. And then we look at the two, which we just to just for us to know the reason why we need to be mentored. That's the demand or the need for us to be mentored. And so we look at it from First Samuel chapter 3, verse 1 to 10. When you read the story there, it tells us like that when like Eli and Samuel, the boys, both of them were on, let's say, on their bed sleeping. I want to read from the verse 4. It says, then the Lord called Samuel. He says, Samuel answered, here I am. And he ran to Eli and said, here I am, you called me. But Eli said, I did not call you, go back and lie down. So he went and lay down. Again, the Lord called Samuel. Samuel got up, went back to Eli and said, here I am again. The man said, no, I have not called you. And so it went on for the third time. And then the verse says, B said, but then Eli realized that the Lord was calling the boy. So Eli told Samuel, go and lie down. And if he calls you, say, speak, Lord, for your servant is listening. So Samuel went and lay down in his place. And the Lord came and stood there, calling at other times, Samuel, Samuel. Then Samuel said, speak, for your servant is listening. And so we realize here that what there is a guide, because this is somebody with no experience in hearing what the Lord has for him or even hearing the voice of God. But he's called to be a leader. He's been trained, mentored to be who? A leader, somebody who leads Israel. And so we realize that Eli played a very significant role in guiding Samuel to recognize and respond to the voice of the Lord in the way that he is supposed to do. And so we see that what Eli did a very good job was by nurturing Samuel's spiritual journey and granting him that knowledge he needed to become the prophet that he's been called to be. That's I mean the first reason I want to give us. The second reason I want to give us was, well, look, when we look at the story again in Samuel 12, verse 1 to 5, it just tells us how successful Samuel was because what he was being mentored. It says what in the verse 12, it says, Samuel said to all the people, that is when he has appointed Saul as a king. It says, I have listened to everything you have said to me, and I have set a king over you. Now you have a king as a leader. As for me, I am old and gray, and my sons are here with you. I have been your leader from my youth until this day. Here I stand, testify against me in the presence of the Lord and his anointed. Whose ox have I taken? He says, no, whose donkey have I taken? Whose have I cheated? Whom have I oppressed? From whose hand have I accepted a bribe to make me shut my eyes? If I have done any of these things, I will make it right. You then somebody responded, you have not cheated or oppressed us. You have not taken anything from anyone's hand. Samuel said to them, the Lord is witness against you, and also his anointed is witness this day that you have not found anything in my hand. He as a was a witness, and that tells you somebody that was what mentored because he learned from the pitfalls of Eli. Eli didn't end well. If you read the book of Samuel, Eli didn't end well. Eli, I should say, like was punished, and so Samuel got to know that look, God demands total obedience. God has rules, and one has to obey it. And so Samuel learned this knowledge, this wisdom from Eli and his family. And so there was no way he's going to cheat because Eli's children did the same, and they were severely punished. The entire family was wiped off, and so he would not want to what repeat such a pitfall that took away an entire family. That is somebody that was what? Being mentored. It brings you what? Into success. As a child of God, you want to submit yourself to be mentored, or if you have the grace to mentor somebody, it's all the best. And so from here, I want us to look at um we get to know the structure. I want us to look at the King Saul. The King Saul began so well if you continue to read the story. But look, in First Samuel 13, verse 3 to 4, and then in First Samuel chapter 11, verse 1 to 11, it tells us that look, he started well. He won battles. He was able to unite the tribes of Israel. He was doing well. But because look, there was okay, the Bible didn't state of any Saul being mentored anywhere. But because he had no idea that the Lord demands total what? Obedience. And when the Lord has not said, you cannot do. Look, he committed a great offense by doing what he was not supposed to do. He went to what? Offer sacrifice that it was meant to Samuel. And that was totally off. Because if it was somebody who was mentored and had experience and he has that knowledge, he wouldn't have gone to do, no matter how long someone was keeping, he would have patiently waited because he would know the consequences of which, if he gets to do that thing, it will come to him. And so he wouldn't even what attempt. And then again, when God asked him to go for war, and specifically rules were given, if he knew the Lord, if he was mentored, if he had experience, if an experience was passed on to him, there was no way he would have left anything for him to enjoy, for him to, suffer as much as he suffered all through his life until he passed on. I just want us, I just brought these two stories so that we will know that, look, there is that need to be mentored. There is a need. It's not like then you are there, you have a business, or okay, everybody is being mentored. Okay, let me also mentor. But it is very necessary that we get to be mentored as people of God. And so somebody will ask, who is a mentor, or who can be a mentor? In the book of First Peter, 2 seconds, please. In First Peter chapter 5, verse 2 to 3, it says, "Be shepherd of God's flock that is under your care, not because you must, but because you are willing." And so, if you accept to be a mentor, you do not just do, but you must be willing. It must be from your heart to serve, to transfer knowledge, experience to whoever you have decided to mentor. And so it's not just like it's being shared, so I just want to do, or people are doing, so I want to do. No, you will be judged for whatever you do. It is here in the word of God. He says, but as as God wants you to be, not pursuing dishonest gain, but eager to serve. When it comes to dishonest gain, I spoke to a brother in the Lord, and this is somebody who has served one apostle, one great apostle in our nation. He really has served this. But there is this selfish gain. So it doesn't make this young minister appreciate what when we say mentoring, because look, this man has his own gain. This is a young man who can really write. And so this man, because of the young man can write, he has done his master's. This guy does all his assignments for him. He has done his PhD. This guy wrote everything for him. All his projects work is the young man that does it for him. There hasn't been any situation that this man, was in a very high position and said, okay, let me push you a bit here. Let me do this thing for you. No, it was for his interest, his own interest. So even to date, he wanted this gentleman, because he could do more, wanted him to write books for, and the guy is not happy. And so people will say, I do not want to be mentored. I asked somebody, he says, no way. He cannot be mentored. Why? Because mentors are greedy, he said. And that's an example of one being greedy. And the Bible tells us that what? We must not pursue this honest gain, but rather be eager to serve, be eager to help the young one, or the one that is not much experienced. You need to push that person by imparting the knowledge God has granted unto you. It could be in any field. He said, and then he continues, and not lording it over those entrusted to you. And so you don't go around, it's like, just like I just said some few minutes ago, basically the apostle is, lording it over this gentleman, because when he feels the guy needs him or would need him in the near future. And so when he calls him, he has to respond almost immediately. That's not what the Lord asks us to do. As as mentors, as people of God, there is that responsibility we are being called to be able to what, teach the ones that are inexperienced. And so a mentor is one that what shares whatever he or she has experienced, that knowledge they have with someone that is not what is not experienced to their level. So it can be every leader is somehow experienced. That makes mentoring involving, because it's from one person to the other person. I am being mentored. My mentor is being mentored, and so it becomes involving, and that makes the world a better place. For to have a better relationship when it comes to what we call mentoring, one thing you have to do is this mentor is somebody who would is let's say seeing something that was is great in you and would want to direct you, guide you into that becoming that great person, or that bringing that bright or greatness out of you. And so that person would have to be accept you, that look, I want to mentor you, or you can let's say it can be either way, either you, but it develops out of a relationship. And so it's not something that you just bump into somebody and say, can you mentor me? There has to be that relationship. That person needs to accept you and say, you are mine. I want to bring that greatness out of you. And as a mentee, that means you need to believe in this person who has said, okay, I want you. You need to submit into this person's principles. Believe that yes, okay, what he's saying is going to do. And so when you are being directed, you have to walk in that path. It's not just spiritual as I speak, but it's also on the physical look, in our everyday life, in our businesses. That there is that need of somebody lifting you up. That's basically what who a mentor is somebody who is seeing something great in you and wants to guide you into that greatness. They encourages you, they pushes you to do what you are supposed to do. That's what a mentor does. If I look at the story and I bring let's say my local pastor, he started he started as let's say an elder in some part of the region in Ghana, but he was being mentored by the chairman of, let's say, our church. And so this person who is coming from, let's say, the middle belt of Ghana, through mentorship, came to Accra. Through mentorship, was given one of the best churches. Remember, he was serving. I must make, he was being submissive. He had to serve the man as a personal assistant in his office, but he was his mentor. Through the same mentorship, that man, a young man who just started, people have been in the ministry for very long, but probably maybe not being mentored by a chairman, or being not mentored. They are not rising as much as this guy is going. That's one of the benefits you can get. One thing I realized too is that because he was being mentored by this chairman, it's an apostolic council. And so he had connections with all the apostles. And so when you come to my local church, in a space of, let's say, every month, there's a possibility of having an apostle preach in our church, because this young man is connected to the chairperson who is in the council of the apostles. And so every one of them gets connected. And so he has that privilege. That is another benefit of being mentored. There's that connection, that wide connection you get connected to. And then it accelerates your growth. Another benefit, which I believe I probably have said it is what there is so much access to wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. I put these three together because if you look at the story of Samuel, the young boy Samuel, because he stayed in the presence of God almost through all through his life, and because he was with Eli all throughout his life, he got knowledge, he got wisdom. Even if Eli did not speak it out and say, "Hey, Samuel, come, let me tell thee," he observed. That's one of the things as a mentee you need to do is observe. You need to, have that eyes to see what's going on. And so you have a mentor, maybe somebody offends this mentor, you hear the mentor say, "It's okay, it's fine," and then he walks off, and the mentee is asking, "Oh, why didn't you fight back? Why didn't you argue?" You observe, you look at the secrets that is making that man grow, that is making that man, successful. And so you are seeing, why didn't he fight? You need to find out the reason. It probably what is making him a better person. It is probably that is making him people say he's a good person. And so he wouldn't fight back. As a mentee, you need to what? Observe to be able to get the secrets in what? In mentoring or in leadership. And then I also speak of what? Understanding. Understanding. When we look at the book of Mark, chapter number 4, verse 10 to 7, 10 to 11, he says, when he was alone, 12 and the others around him asked him about the parable. He told them the secret of the kingdom. I mean, he told them, he says, "Well, the secret of the kingdom has been given to you, but to those on the outside, they had everything is set in parables." And so, because these 12 were very close to Jesus Christ, and a parable was said, they didn't understand. In the same way, when you have a mentor and there is some knowledge passed, there is some information passed, or you observe something and you don't understand, there is that privilege to ask, to seek knowledge, and you will find there is an answer. There will be an answer. If you are blessed, there can be a practical experience to let you know what that secret means as a mentor or as a mentee. And so you get to learn secrets, you get understanding of some of the things that are around you. If you are not being mentored, truthfully, you cannot gain access to some of these things I am talking about. One other thing to also look out for is what there is what accountability. Because you are being called, or let's say you are being mentored by this person, your spiritual life is being checked. Because whatever example you put out there is almost like, hey, it's putting him out there. And so there is that accountability to walk, if it's spiritual, like to walk in the ways of God as you are being called, to walk in the right path. If it is business, whatever the goals are set for, this person is going to check on you to ensure that you are completing those tasks, ensure that what you said you will do, you are doing it. And so you don't just live your life, especially when you are being mentored. You are being guided. And so you don't just take steps. You want to know before you even take the step. And even before you take the step, you are asking yourself, am I walking well? Am I going in accordance to what I am supposed to do? We can look at the life of David. I could say David was directly mentored by God because every step he takes, he says, can I go? Should I go? Will I be able? Will I win? Will I succeed? He doesn't just go because whatever the result is, he would account for it. There are consequences that comes for it with it. So he won't just go. So we need to walk in that path that God has called us to be. So that's when you are being mentored, there is what? Accountability. You just don't live your life. And I've already said that there's that benefit of connecting to so many people. There's connection everywhere you get yourself involved. As a mentor, your mentor opening that door for you. It could be in business, it could be in our spiritual walk. I have gotten that opportunity before. I have I have benefited from it. And I know some of my other ladies have gotten that benefit of being connected towards other people for spiritual benefit, for spiritual growth, for other things. And I could say it's very vital when you are being mentored. There are so many benefits. There is encouragement when you are being mentored. There are so many benefits. I could keep on and keep on listing them, but I believe these are very important points that we have to look at as children of God, as people that are looking to be mentored. These are some of the benefits. In case you find yourself as, look, I want to mentor somebody, I have wealth of experience I want to share, I have that spiritual, there's that grace you want to impart. So you identify that specific area, and then you want to what? Share. You want to impart onto many others. So there is that opportunity too. And as well, when you start this, somebody who has decided to mentor, there is obviously growth. Spiritually, there is growth. I remember I had this accounting teacher, and he said, look, when he was being taught what he was teaching us, he didn't understand it as much as he is teaching us now, because he has gotten the opportunity to teach us over and over again. He has gotten understanding. Now he knows what he is doing. It is the same with us. It is the same when we take up the opportunity to what? Mentor somebody. The same benefit comes. There is growth. There are graces. There are impartations. That's when you are looking at that's spiritual. Even in the business, it broadens the person's mindset. Then the inexperienced mentee is what able to add what is happening now, the new life, to maybe the senior person who has what his experience probably might be a bit of how do I say it, maybe archaic, but this person can bring on something new. That's when you allow like when you decide what I want to mentor somebody. There's accountability on both sides. You are checking yourself because the people are looking up to you. You don't just want to do because, yes, after all, I'm the head or I'm the leader. I can do whatever I want. No, there's that accountability. That's when, like, you want to go into mentoring. There are a number of benefits as well when, yes, I want to mentor somebody. One thing I think I left out and I didn't say was mentors are what always they have that listening ears. They always have the ears for the mentee. It's one of the great attributes you can have if you want to be what a mentor. You need to have a listening ear. You don't want to, probably, let's say you want to maybe talk for 10 minutes, or probably respond for 10 minutes, and then maybe 80% of the time you want to listen, so that what you can give the right impact or the right knowledge, or better still, the right wisdom to this person that is asking you these questions. And I mean, the popular scripture says what? Iron sharpens iron. Whenever we do these things, we know what it is. Like I've already said, it builds us up, it makes us a better person. And as mentoring is evolving, it changes the world around us, it changes the family around us. You can imagine if each of us decide to mentor, say, 5 people among us, there is going to be a mind change. People are going to change. People are going to do things differently. Businesses are going to progress. Because if you have, let's say, an idea or a business and you don't, let's say you're not being mentored and you don't have the right guide, it takes you a very long time to succeed. But if you are being guided, let's say you have somebody who is very good at marketing, you have somebody who is probably very good at IT, and so you consult, oh, so and so and so and so, how do I get to do this? And this person gives you that knowledge you need. It automatically accelerates you and it pushes you above the person who is what? Not being mentored. And so I just want to encourage anyone who is here that there is that opportunity to mentor a lot more people. You can find yourself like with a special grace, maybe to mentor a group of women, to mentor a group of young people, to depending on where you find that grace, you know that there's so much benefit for you. It's not just putting in, but you have so much to benefit from, so much to benefit from. I just want to conclude this thing, and I want to say something that Apostle Sermon said. He said what? He who likes you matters. And it's just like a mentor who identifies a mentee and accept the mentee and says you are mine, and you see that greatness in you and say, I am going to push you forward, I am going to help you grow. He says what? He who likes what matters. And he says what? The easiest way to succeed in life is what? Through relationships, like what? A mentor and a mentee relationship. And the last thing he said is what? His life, as we see him as a very successful man of God, moving around everywhere. He says what? His life is as a result of what? Somebody coming into his life. And that person was the one who accelerated his life by so many decades. And so all of a sudden, yes, he has served. We didn't see him, but somebody pushed him up there. And that's how come today we all know him and we all listen to his teachings. I want to bring my teachings to an end here. And I want to tell every one of us that there is that need, there is that demand for mentorship. It improves our businesses, it improves our well being, our spiritual lives. It just changes the world around us. And as our world changes, so as the families we find ourselves, life changes, so does the community change. Just being one person deciding to mentor, you can see the impact. It changes lives, it changes family, it goes on to change nations. I know that this in Africa, it is so much difficult to accept mentorship. And it's just like I said earlier on, it's just because of greed, selfishness. And so a lot more people do not want to be what? Mentored. Because look, I asked my brother, why won't you be mentored? He says there is a charge to be mentored. Because whoever wants to mentor you wants to take something from you. And so for him, he won't do it because he doesn't even have that money to pay somebody so that the person would mentor him. This that is not like the real thing. It's we need to have a change of mind when it comes to mentoring. And so that should also urge us as Christians, as people gathered here, so that since we have gotten that knowledge that it's of essence for us to mentor, to be mentored or mentor, that perception through us can be taken away so that many more can have what is expected, that growth. As a woman, look, for me to accept anybody close to me is so difficult. I have trust problems. I must tell you, I hardly would trust anybody. Hardly. I won't trust anyone. Probably because of few experiences growing up. Hardly would I go into and sit in an office with a man. I won't do it. I will stand at the door. I will stand at the door and open the door little more. Whatever you want to say, tell me. I won't come and sit under your feet. I won't do it. Because what? Because it was selfish gains. They want to demand something from you. It is not for free. If you want to gain promotion, if you want to gain knowledge, if you want me to introduce you to so and so, do this, do that. And so a lot of people lag behind. A lot of people are suffering. I am glad today there is this opportunity. And I just want to, tell each and every one of us here that, look, again, I say there is that need, there is that demand. Because if today I can be mentored, there are many more people that are having those challenges that you and I, Christians, they can trust, they can rely on you for you to teach them the way to go, for you to bring success in their lives. Is like a call. And so you are being called to it. Thank you, everyone, for having me. God bless us all. Father, I thank you for this time. I thank you for the opportunity. I thank you for teaching your word. I'm so grateful. Father, as the word has come, oh God, let us be doers of it so that we can impact many more lives than we have today. In Jesus Christ's name we pray, thanksgiving. Amen.
We hope you have been tremendously blessed by this message. You can help us spread the message of Marketplace Ministry by sending the link to this message and sharing it with just one friend or family member. As a tribe of Marketplace ministers, our goal is to focus on building kingdom entrepreneurs with kingdom truths that can transform their lives and destinies. Finally, we don't collect offerings at Entrepreneurs in Christ. But if you would like to sow a seed into this project, you can do so via World Remit or PayPal, or you can request our account details in specific countries. Thank you again, and God bless your every move. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. God bless you.